The man accused of kidnapping a woman outside a Boston bar will be arraigned in Superior Court today. Police said the 30-year-old Victor Pina held a young woman in his Charleston apartment against her will this January. Pina is now facing several charges, including aggravated rape.
1 year after Disney announced the multi-billion-dollar merger with 21st Century Fox, it's finally official. The deal with Disney will make an even greater entertainment powerhouse. This move puts Disney in a stronger position to take on Netflix and other streaming companies when it launches its own service, Disney Plus, later this year. Disney, which already owns Pixar, Marvel, and the Star Wars brand, will now also get Deadpool and the Fox-owned Marvel characters such as X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Weather in the Boston area continues to be more like January than March. But BUTV News reporter Cheyenne Darcy-Amaya is live with reaction to the spring semester weather that doesn't feel like spring at all.
Spring break is right around the corner here in Boston, but here in Boston there is no spring in sight. Let's take a look at the forecast.
A break between the mid and upper 20s. Wind chills are in the single digits across the state, with it feeling like 5 degrees in Boston at the moment. The bitter cold will stay into tomorrow as we start to get closer to above the freezing mark, but we are not expecting to see temperatures close to 40 degrees until Friday and the beginning of the weekend. Daylight saving times begin this Sunday at 2 a.m. with the sun expected to set at 6:44 in the evening that night. Saturday looks like the best day for this weekend, with Sunday bringing another winter system into the greater Boston area. It will start as snow and sleet, but then transition into rain later in the afternoon as temperatures begin to warm up. Right now, we are in the deepest part of this freeze. We tried to ask some people on Boston University's campus about the weather, but the cold stopped them from talking to us. However, we did find one girl who was willing to give her opinion about this frigid March weather.
I think it's pretty wild that it's March and it is only like 15 degrees. This is the time of the year when people are like, oh, it's spring, almost spring, spring break, everyone wants to get the heck out of here and, start to wear some clothes that might be a little cuter, but this weather is not acceptable for that yet.
Reporting live from Boston, I'm Cheyenne Darcy-Amaya.
And a gentle reminder to set your clocks forward an hour Sunday morning, March 10th.
The FDA approves the first postpartum depression drug. The intravenous drug will cost $34,000 per patient for a course treatment. The drug works within 48 hours compared to antidepressants, which can take 2 to 4 weeks to have an effect. Immediate relief will allow mothers to bond with their babies, which is crucial with healthy development.
Several teachers' contracts are not being renewed at Wyndham High School. Students, parents, and teachers spoke up at school board meeting last night and voiced concern to the situation. School board members allowed students and staff to speak, but said the decision comes from principals and their teams.
Starting today, you will start to see signs of the historic Boston Marathon set to attract hundreds of thousands of visitors and the attention of the world. Reporter Alejandra Rosa is at the finish line of the Boston Marathon outside Copley Square in Boston with this live report.
I'm standing here in the finish line of the Boston Marathon where the unveiling ceremony of the marathon banners just took place. 500 banners will be hung along the route of the marathon, and this year's blue and yellow design was inspired by the finish line and the spirit of Boston. Also, new images of the memorial for the victims of the Boston Marathon bombing are being released. The memorial was designed by artist Pablo Eduardo, and it will be unveiled here in Boston Street this summer. This is the first time since the bombings that the marathon will take place on April 15th, the 6th anniversary of the 2013 tragedy. Reporting live from the finish line, I'm Alejandro Rosa for BUTV 10.
President Trump is returning to Ohio in his first trip to the state since last year's midterm election. This afternoon's visit is part of Trump's 2020 campaign strategy to appear in battleground states as president as much as possible this year. Trump is expected to make similar trips throughout the year to key states where the Democratic base is thought to be re-energized. A new unique study finds that the type of music can affect the taste of cheese. Researchers at Bern University of the Arts in Switzerland exposed 5 22-pound wheels of cheese to different kinds of music for 6.5 months straight. They found that the hip-hop music in particular is when the cheese tastes best, with a group of food professionals noting differences in both taste and smell. The 2019 NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, better known as March Madness, officially starts tomorrow night. Fairleigh Dickinson picked the last spot yesterday, defeating the Prairie View AM Panthers for 82-76. The Panthers lead for most of the night, but the Knights never quit. Fairleigh Dickinson senior guard Darnell Edge scored 33 points, leading his team to their first ever win in the NCAA tournament.
The shooting panicked students as officials put the campus on lockdown for several hours. The attack is prompting a look at security at the Boston University campus, which is located in the city just like UNC Charlotte. BU TV reporter Gaia DeSimone has a live report about the reaction on the BU campus.
Thank you, Heather. As we know, Boston University is an open campus in a big city, and incidents such as shooting can happen anytime and anywhere. What is Boston University doing to prepare the community after what happened yesterday in North Carolina? I spoke to the Deputy Chief of Boston University Police, Robert Malloy, and here's what he said.
When you're in a situation like you're in a room or a classroom or an office, always know your surroundings and know what to do. If you hear something like gunshots, God forbid, in the hallway, prepare before that happens. Prepare where you are and say, well, I come to this class every day. If there was something happening out in the hallway, what would I do? How would I protect myself? Is there a window I can jump out of and leave? Is there a doorway that I can close and secure so no one can get in? And that's what really the training is. Think about your surroundings. Think about where you are, because that's how you're going to protect yourself. If you don't do it in advance, when something bad happens, you're not thinking about it. You're panicking and all that, and you want to prepare yourself at the beginning. So that's what we do.
Deputy Malloy reminded to always be aware, and if you see somebody acting odd, you have to notify the police or somebody at your institution. Reporting live from Boston University campus, I am Gaia DeSimone.
A vigil is planned for today in North Carolina in memory of the unidentified victims.